Welcome to the Women Healing Podcast, a place to discover the power of who you are, what you want, and have the most fun having it all on your terms without doing it all, so you feel wildly successful in every area of your life. My name is Michelle Kanan. I'm a somatic therapist, neurolinguistic programming practitioner, and wild feminine embodiment coach, and it's time to set yourself free so that the world and your man always give you what you want, or even better than you can possibly imagine. Here's how. I can't believe that I'm about to tell this story, but I think it's been enough years gone by that no one can come after me. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. This is the story of my last day in corporate America. And it was about 12 years ago that I walked out of my last corporate job and into the great unknown. And as per usual, I was finally doing exactly what I wanted. I was leaving behind the world that I was supposed to be in, the amazing job with the corner office, the multiple six-figure salary, the beautiful apartment in New York City, the closet packed with shoes and purses and designer labels and a membership at a very fancy gym and all of the right things that my family, who had emigrated to this country from communist Russia, had trained me for and had set me up for, so that I would have a successful and safe and lucrative life. But the issue was, I just wasn't happy. In fact, it just felt like there was this hole inside of me, and maybe you can relate, that always felt like something was missing. It felt like my life had FOMO, even though I was making great money and I was dating the right guy and I was wearing the right clothes and my body was amazing. And right, it was all of the things that I checked off the boxes. And yet it always felt like I needed more. And what that looked like for me in my life was I was a chronic achiever, go-getter. I was jumping from job to job, promotion to promotion, salary increase to salary increase. And it would be exciting, right? It's super exciting when you get what you want. But then quickly that dopamine hit would fade and I'd be back to this place of like, something's missing, something's missing. And I realized at one point, oh, the answer wasn't out there. The answer wasn't in my next achievement or accomplishment, the next thing I could get done, the next goal that I could hit, the next milestone that I could celebrate, because those things felt really great, but they never lasted. And the answer was to go within and to respond to a deeper yearning, a deeper need that I always had inside of me. It was like this voice, this energy, this drumbeat that was begging for attention. But like most women, I was taught to ignore it in order to do the right thing. But what was the right thing, right? I just use quote marks. The right thing according to who, right? That authority, most women, myself included, we're giving away, right? We're being taught to look to others, to our parents, to society, to the people around us for what's normal and what's right and what merits approval. But oftentimes, and this I learned, it comes at a great cost, right? It comes at the expense of denying yourself. And I remember this moment, my moment when I walked out of this last office and I worked for a Fortune 500, a global company, a beauty company. And I remember I raided the beauty closet and I left the office for the last time with these giant paper shopping bags full of product from this incredible company, because I love this brand. I love their products. I thought this was it. I thought this was my dream job, my dream company. Like, it was a brand I was obsessed with. It was so prestigious. I was paid so well. But anyway, I left this company and I filled these shopping bags with product because I wanted to hoard it. I loved it so much. And we got free product when we worked there. And I was crossing this busy street in Manhattan when those bags exploded. They shattered and product went flying everywhere. And quickly the cars were honking. I was scurrying out to grab all of this product and shove it in my purse and run away from this office as fast as possible into my future. So just in case you thought this was a glorious story of triumph, this is actually a mortifying experience for myself. And I remember getting to this bar, this cafe, because I was going to meet my then boyfriend, my now husband, for a glass of champagne to toast my future, leaving behind corporate life because I was going to move to Berlin and become a somatic therapist and a healer. And I remember getting that glass of champagne, lifting it up to make a toast to my future self, and bursting into tears because, oh my God, what had I done? What had I done leaving behind an excellent future, like the perfect story and path, everything that my parents raised me for, everything that everyone around me was doing, the right thing. I was leaving the right thing behind to follow this crazy voice inside that was like, this isn't for you. You want something else. You want more. And talk about story of my life. I mean, it's always felt like I've been a black sheep. I always felt like what I wanted was in contrast to the things that my parents wanted for me or that others wanted for me or told me was right. And for so long, what I internalized was that I was a problem, that there was something wrong with me for wanting those things. And I tried my hardest. I tried my hardest to conform and to do what I was supposed to do, to be a good daughter, be a good girlfriend, be a good woman, be a good friend. But oftentimes, what that meant was that I was doing things at my expense. And it wasn't necessarily crazy things, right? There were just all of these little ways that I realized in retrospect that I was abandoning myself and that I was denying myself and that I was feeding this voice inside of me that was telling me that there was something wrong with me, that I was bad, that what I wanted was wrong because it just didn't go in line with what everybody else said that I should want. And this caused so many arguments. Wow, I had a really hard growing up in my family. I mean, my family wanted the best for me. They emigrated to this country for a better life and a better future for their family from a place where you literally could not own anything. You couldn't buy what you needed in stores. There were lines around the block when there was bread available or meat available. And if you didn't get on that line fast enough, you wouldn't get what you needed to feed your family or the clothes that you needed to buy. Like it just wasn't possible. And my parents came here and they worked hard and they truly built an American dream story for themselves. And so it was just inconceivable that I would take all of their hard work and all of their future planning and all of their success and decide that it wasn't for me, sort of spit it back or throw it back in their faces, or at least that's how it was interpreted. And for so long, that's what I thought. That's what I felt, that I was bad, right? That I was wrong. And what I realize now, and so much of my growing up experience is so deeply informative of the work that I do with my clients and everything that I'm going to share with you in this podcast. It was this internalized belief that I sustained inside of me, that I chose to believe in, that there was something wrong with me. And that couldn't be farther from the truth, right? Because one of the big things that I teach and that I share with my clients is that your desire, a woman's desire, is the most powerful force on the planet, right? A woman's unleashed desire is unstoppable. And I was stopping my desire. I was holding it back. I was trying to avoid it and push it away for so long, holding myself back. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I am so ready to have it all and feel really good every day without compromising ever, then go to www.haveitallqueen.com to dive in and get started. Okay, back to the show. From being in my full power and from being in full alignment to go after the things that I was passionate about, excited about, that I wanted more of in my life. And now think about it, right? Think about the energy that you're in or your mood or your flow when you're doing something from a place of, oh, I'm supposed to do that, or I have to do that, or that's just the way things are done, versus I want to do that. I'm excited about doing that. I'm passionate about doing that. Right. And so this moment when I left corporate was this huge line in the sand for me where I was like, I am done. I am done living my life in the way that other people think that I should do it. And not because I'm spiting them, not because I need to fight against the world. This was another crazy thing that I had to learn, right? Because I was finally owning who I was and what I wanted and going after that full force. And that's when my life really got exciting. That's when it started to feel like everything that I wanted me back. It finally felt like I had gotten out of my own way and everything was starting to happen. You know that how there's women out there, there's people out there that you're just like, wow, why do they get everything? Like, why does it feel like life is always working out for them? That is finally the code that I cracked. And it's because people like that are in full ownership and in full alignment of their desires and in full ownership and full respect of their self-worth. And they understand, we understand, you're here because you understand, right? That when you stop getting in your own way, when you just decide that what you want is worthy, I want you to understand what happens when you make choices that fully align with who you are and what you want. And then how easy and fun life and relationships and motherhood and career get to be when you operate from that place of I'm worthy and what I want is important. And those are the big wants, but those everyday little wants, like I want to sit down, or I don't want to take my kid to this activity, or I want to do this project, or I don't want to do that meeting. Like, what happens when you finally look at all of your choices and your actions and your decisions and your thoughts, and everything is in alignment and support of what you know is right for you? And so many of us were taught that if we do that, we're selfish. We're bad, we're needy, we're demanding, we're hurting other people. I remember having a conversation with a woman online where we were celebrating, my community was celebrating our relationships and the good in our relationships. And she said, how could you do that? You're going to make other women feel bad. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I'm sharing my story, because what I want to do is be an expander. I want to show you and every other woman out there what becomes possible in your life when you live fully exactly how you want, when you're fully exactly who you want to be, when you own who you are and what you want, and how that gets to change your life and also the life of everybody that you love and that you care about. And look, when I started doing that, I'm not going to lie, people had reactions. People had shit to say. My parents, when I was quitting this cushy job to move to Berlin to study healing, they thought I was crazy. They thought I was joining a cult. They just couldn't understand. But of course they couldn't understand, right? Where they came from, right? A communist country where they couldn't buy things, they couldn't make more money, they couldn't get promotions, they couldn't make their lives better without having to leave the country, right? They faced a lot of prejudice because we were Jewish, right? They had to leave their whole world behind in order to create the life that they want. But that's what most of us are doing. We are living a life based on other people's expectations that grew up in different ways, that had different values, that had different life experience, that had different constraints. Your parents grew up in a very different way. Your grandparents grew up in a very different way, a very different time and place than you do today. But most of us are living out that reality over and over again instead of breaking free and truly owning who we are and what we want. And that's why we're here. That's why I'm doing this podcast. That is why I work with my clients, so that I can have a life where I'm recording this podcast episode on a Thursday at 3:00, just after I jump out of the pool. My husband is picking up our daughter from camp, and he's bringing her to our friend's house where we're going to grill and have dinner. And tomorrow we're going to spend the day at the beach. And I don't have to ask anybody for permission. I don't have to check my schedule. I own my time. I have total freedom. We live exactly how we want to live. We do everything that we want to do, and we do it our way. And it's amazing because we're talking to a lot of our friends who are getting into entrepreneurship and are really taking ownership of living life on their terms. And they all say the same thing to us. They're like, you're really good at the lifestyle piece, right? Because I have friends that they're starting businesses and they're chained to their desk all day long. And I'm like, that's not why you're doing this, right? Like, you're doing this so that you can live the life that you want to live. Like, come hang out, come play. But most of us don't give ourselves permission to do what we really want to do. And you can do what you want to do at any time. You can do exactly what you want to do right now. And I promise you, the moment that you start to do that, everything in your life will change. Because once you start to do that, the world and the people around you in it will start to respond to you in a different way. And what's amazing about that is once you break free, it gives everybody the opportunity to break free and to do what they want to do too. And for all of us to meet in this place where we get to create the lives that we want and live exactly how we want and be happy on our own terms and make money on our own terms and love on our own terms and truly raise families on our own terms and feel like we can do exactly what we want to do instead of playing by somebody else's rules. I wanted to have an amazing marriage, and I wanted to really enjoy raising a family and having kids. And I wanted to be really successful and feel passionate about my work and be well paid too. I wanted it all. And I was told that I couldn't have that, or that it was crazy, or that if I wanted to have those things, I was going to have to work really hard and suffer and give things up. Yes, that was the biggest one. I was going to have to give something up, right? The lesson that I always got is you can't have it all. Something's got to give, right? You have to compromise. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck compromise. This was a huge lesson my husband taught me in the beginning of our relationship, and I'll get into it in a future episode, but I didn't want to compromise. I don't want to meet in the middle. I don't want to accept less. I want everything, and I want it on my terms, and I want to be happy, and I want to feel good, and I want my husband to feel good, and I want my kids to be happy and feel good, and I want my friends and my family and every woman that I meet to understand that she can have that too. And that's why I'm here telling you my story. Not so that you can hear this and be like, well, that's fucking great for you, Michelle, la-di-da. No, I don't want to do this alone. I want to call you on a Thursday afternoon and go swimming with you and hang out with you and have the best time ever and feel like I have enough time for myself and you have enough time for yourself and you get to do what you want to do and I get to do what you want to do it. And we are making lots of money and we're really happy and our families are happy and everything is working. I want that feeling and experience for every woman out there, for every person out there. So we're going to have so many interesting conversations on the podcast this season. I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to drop what I call mindgasms in every single episode. And what I want for you is to share with me. I want you to come on over to Instagram. My handle is my name, Michelle Kinan, and shoot me a DM and tell me what you're learning. Tell me what mindgasm, what realization that you had from hearing this episode, what you're going to try in your life, even what you might be coming up against, so that we can powwow together. Relationships are so important to me. Women changing their lives is so important. It's the biggest passion that I have in my work. So reach out to me, connect with me, share with me. I want to grow with you together. I want every woman to have it all. And I want to know what that looks like for you, because my version is going to be way different than your version. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life based on what works for me. I'm here to help you understand exactly who you are, exactly what you want, and how to have exactly everything that you desire, or even better than you can possibly imagine, so that we can celebrate and rock out in life together. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the pod. If you're ready to have it all while feeling absolutely amazing every day, because of course it gets to be this good for you and every woman on the planet, then go to www.haveitallqueen.com for a free gift from me and some juicy next steps. And if you're feeling this mission, that every woman is truly fulfilled and gets to live, play, work, love, and enjoy her family and life in a way that's healthy, expansive, exciting, and fun, it really helps if you write a review and share this pod with your friends, because our goal is to reach over 1 million women and change what they think is possible for their lives. So write a review or share with your friends. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.